Learning English is a gentle journey, and many people walk on this path every day, sometimes with excitement, sometimes with a little fear, and often with quiet hope, because they want to understand more words, more sounds, and more stories from the world. When I think about learning English, I think about small steps, slow progress, and simple moments that slowly become meaningful. I remember how strange the sounds felt at first, how some words were hard to pronounce, and how some sentences felt long and confusing, but I also remember the first time I understood a short story without help, and that moment felt warm and calm. Learning English is not a race, and it does not need to be perfect, because it is about listening, speaking, reading, and writing little by little, again and again, with patience and kindness to yourself. Many learners start with simple words like hello, thank you, and good morning, and these words become friendly doors that open a new space in the mind. After that, they meet more words, more phrases, and more simple sentences, and slowly the language starts to feel more familiar, like a soft voice that you hear every day. Some people learn English at school, some learn at home, and some learn while walking, working, or resting. They listen to songs, watch videos, read short stories, and repeat words quietly. They make mistakes, and they learn from them, and they understand that mistakes are not enemies, but gentle teachers. When you learn English, you may feel tired sometimes, but you may also feel proud when you understand a new sentence or when you say a sentence clearly. This mix of feelings is normal, and it is part of the journey. Learning English is like learning to walk in a new city, where every street has a new name, every sign has a new meaning, and every voice has a new sound. Listening is often the first step, and listening can be calm and slow. You listen to voices, to stories, to small talks, and you let the sounds move through your mind. At first, you may not understand everything, and that is fine, because understanding grows slowly, like a small plant in soft soil. When you listen again and again, some words stay in your memory, and some sentences become clear. You start to hear patterns, and you start to feel the rhythm of the language. You notice how people greet each other, how they ask simple questions, and how they answer with gentle words. You notice that many sentences are short, kind, and friendly, and you begin to feel more comfortable. Speaking comes after listening, and speaking can feel scary at first. Your voice may shake a little, and your mind may search for words. But every word you say is a small victory. You say simple sentences, and you repeat them, and you slowly feel more confident. You learn to say your name, your age, your job, and your hobbies. You learn to talk about your day, your family, and your dreams. You learn that it is okay to speak slowly, and it is okay to pause, because communication is not about speed, but about understanding. When you speak, you connect with others, and you feel that English is not just a subject, but a living tool that helps you share your thoughts. Reading is another gentle step. You start with short texts, simple stories, and easy messages. You read slowly, and you look at each word with care. You learn how words come together, and how sentences carry meaning. You may read about daily life, about travel, about food, about friends, and about small adventures. Reading helps you see how English works, and it helps you feel the flow of the language. When you read every day, even for a few minutes, you build a quiet habit that slowly makes you stronger. Writing is also part of learning, and writing helps you organize your thoughts. You write short sentences, small notes, and simple stories. You write about your day, your feelings, and your plans. You may write slowly, and you may check your words many times, and that is good. Writing helps you remember words, and it helps you see your progress. When you look back at your old writing, you may smile and feel proud, because you can see how far you have come. Learning English is not only about books and lessons, but also about life. You hear English in songs, in movies, in games, and in conversations. You see English on signs, on phones, and on websites. English becomes part of your daily world, and you start to feel that it is not far away, but close to you. You may repeat a line from a song, or you may remember a sentence from a movie, and these small moments help your mind stay active and open. Sometimes you may feel that progress is slow, and sometimes you may feel that you are not good enough. But these feelings are common, and they pass. Every learner feels them, and every learner moves forward in their own time. Learning English is not about comparing with others, but about growing with yourself. When you understand one more word today than yesterday, you are moving forward. When you can say one more sentence than before, you are moving forward. When you feel more relaxed with the language, you are moving forward. Practice is a quiet friend in this journey. You practice by listening, by speaking, by reading, and by writing. You practice in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. You practice for 5 minutes or for 1 hour. Every practice is useful, and every moment with English helps your mind become more familiar with it. You do not need to rush, and you do not need to force yourself. You just need to stay gentle and steady. Many learners enjoy learning English because it opens new doors. They can talk with people from different countries, read stories from different cultures, and understand ideas from different places. English becomes a bridge, and that bridge helps them feel connected to the world. When you learn English, you are not only learning words, but also learning about people, feelings, and experiences. You may have a favorite way to learn. Some people love listening to podcasts, some love watching short videos, and some love reading simple books. Some people like to learn alone, and some like to learn with friends. All ways are good, and all ways can work. The most important thing is to find joy in the process, even in small moments. When you enjoy learning, your mind stays open, and your heart stays calm. It is helpful to repeat words and sentences, because repetition makes memory strong. You may repeat a sentence many times, and each time it feels more natural. You may repeat common phrases like "How are you?" "I am fine, thank you," and "Have a nice day." These phrases become easy friends in your daily speech. You may also repeat questions like "What is your name?" "Where are you from?" and "What do you like?" These questions help you start simple conversations, and they help you feel more confident. Listening practice is very important, and listening practice can be peaceful. You listen to slow voices, clear words, and gentle stories. You do not need to understand everything. You just need to let the sound stay with you. Over time, your understanding grows, and your ear becomes more sensitive. You start to hear small differences in sounds, and you start to notice stress and rhythm. This helps you speak more naturally later. Shadowing is also a helpful method. You listen to a sentence, and you repeat it softly or clearly. You follow the speaker, and you try to copy the sound and the rhythm. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to try. This practice helps your mouth and your ears work together, and it helps your confidence grow. When you learn English, it is good to be kind to yourself. You do not need to feel bad when you forget a word. You do not need to feel shy when you make a mistake. Every mistake is a step forward, and every correction is a small gift. You learn from each moment, and you become better little by little. You may remember your first English word, and you may remember your first English sentence. These memories stay with you, and they remind you that you have already started, and you are already moving. Learning English is not something that suddenly finishes. It is a long and gentle story that grows with you. Some days you may feel very motivated, and some days you may feel tired. On motivated days, you may study longer, read more, and listen more. On tired days, you may just listen to a short story or repeat a few words. Both days are okay. What matters is that you do not stop completely, and you keep a small connection with the language. You can connect English with your daily life. When you see an object, you can think of its English name. When you walk outside, you can describe what you see in simple English. When you feel happy or sad, you can try to express your feelings in English. These small habits help English become part of your natural thinking. You may also keep a small notebook or a small file where you write new words and simple sentences. You can look at them sometimes, and you can smile when you remember them. You do not need to write long lists. You just need to write what feels useful and interesting to you. Learning English is also about listening to yourself. You listen to your progress, your needs, and your feelings. You choose a pace that feels comfortable. You choose materials that feel friendly. You choose moments that feel calm. This personal way of learning makes the journey warm and real. When you speak English with others, you may feel nervous at first, but you may also feel excited. You hear different accents, different voices, and different styles. You understand that English is not only one sound, but many sounds. This makes English more human and more alive. You may also enjoy simple English stories. Stories about daily life, about small trips, about family moments, and about quiet dreams. These stories are easy to follow, and they help you learn words in context. You see how words live inside sentences, and how sentences live inside stories. You may listen to the same story many times, and each time you understand a little more. This is a beautiful feeling, because it shows your growth. You may notice a word you did not notice before, or a meaning you did not understand before. This gentle discovery makes learning joyful. Learning English also helps you learn patience. You learn to wait for understanding, to wait for confidence, and to wait for comfort. You learn that good things take time, and that slow progress is still progress. You learn that every step, no matter how small, is valuable. You may sometimes think about your future with English. You may imagine talking with new friends, traveling to new places, or working in new spaces. These dreams can give you energy and hope. They remind you why you started, and they help you continue. English is not just a language. It is a bridge, a key, and a gentle companion. It walks with you when you listen, when you speak, when you read, and when you write. It grows with you when you practice, when you rest, and when you try again. You may sit quietly and listen to English in the morning, feeling the calm start of the day. You may listen in the afternoon, feeling focused and open. You may listen at night, feeling relaxed and peaceful. English can be with you in all these moments, like a soft background voice that supports you. You may also talk to yourself in English. You may say simple things like I am hungry, I am tired, I am happy, or I am ready. These small sentences help your mind stay active and connected to the language. They make English feel natural and close. Over time, you may notice that you think in English sometimes, even without trying. This is a quiet sign of growth. It means your mind is becoming comfortable with the language. It means English is becoming part of you. You may still forget words, and you may still feel unsure sometimes, but that is normal. Even people who speak English well sometimes forget words or feel unsure. Language is not about perfection. It is about connection and communication. Learning English is also about enjoying the sound of the language. You enjoy the soft sounds, the strong sounds, and the gentle rhythm. You enjoy how sentences rise and fall, and how voices change with feelings. This enjoyment makes listening practice more pleasant and more meaningful. When you practice listening, you can close your eyes and just feel the words. You can let the voice guide you, and you can follow the story slowly. You do not need to hurry. You do not need to push. You just need to stay open and calm. Every day with English is a small gift. Even a few minutes can make a difference. Even a few sentences can build confidence. Even a few words can bring joy. Learning English is not about big jumps, but about gentle steps. You may sometimes look back and see how much you have learned. You may remember how hard some things were before, and how easy they feel now. This memory can give you strength and comfort. You are not alone in this journey. Many people around the world are also learning English. They share the same hopes, the same fears, and the same small victories. This shared experience connects you in a quiet and kind way. You may continue this journey for many years, and English will continue to change with you. It will become easier, richer, and more natural. You will find new words, new meanings, and new ways to express yourself. And in this gentle and slow journey, you will learn not only English, but also patience, courage, and kindness to yourself. You will learn that growth is quiet, and progress is soft, and success is often hidden in small daily moments. You will learn that learning English is not just about language, but about becoming more open to the world and more gentle with your own heart. And you will continue to walk on this path, step by step, word by word, sentence by sentence, with calm, with hope, and with a peaceful smile, letting English stay with you as a quiet and friendly companion in your everyday life, as you listen, as you speak, as you read, as you write, and as you continue to grow in your own gentle and beautiful way. And as you continue this gentle journey, you may start to notice that English feels less heavy in your mind, and more like a soft stream that flows naturally through your thoughts. You may hear a sentence and understand it without translating, and this moment can feel quiet and warm, like a small light turning on inside you. You may smile when this happens, even if no one else can see it, because you know that something inside you has changed in a calm and positive way. Learning English is full of these small hidden moments, and they slowly build a deep and gentle confidence. You may remember the time when every word felt new and strange, and now some words feel like old friends. Words like morning, evening, friend, family, work, home, food, and time begin to feel close to you. You do not need to think hard about them anymore. They simply appear when you need them. This is one of the quiet joys of learning a language. It does not happen suddenly, but when it happens, it feels natural and peaceful. You may also notice that your listening becomes softer and stronger at the same time. Softer because you are more patient with unclear sounds, and stronger because you can catch more meaning. You listen not only to words, but also to feelings. You hear when a voice is happy, calm, tired, or excited. This helps you understand English in a deeper way, because language is not only about words, but also about emotions and intentions. When you practice speaking, you may start to enjoy your own voice in English. At first, it may sound strange to you, but later it becomes familiar. You learn how to shape sounds with your mouth, how to move your tongue, and how to breathe between words. You learn that speaking is a physical action as well as a mental one. And when your body becomes comfortable with English, your mind feels more relaxed too. You may speak alone, in front of a mirror, or while walking, or while cooking. You may speak in a soft voice or in a clear voice. All of these ways are good. Speaking is not only for conversations with others, but also for conversations with yourself. When you talk to yourself in English, you build a private and safe space to practice without fear. You may sometimes feel that your sentences are simple, and you may wish to speak in a more beautiful or complex way. But simple sentences are strong, and they are the base of all communication. Simple sentences help you share clear ideas, and they help others understand you easily. With time, your sentences will naturally grow, just like a tree grows from a small seed. Reading in English may also become more comfortable. You may read slowly, but you feel less tired than before. Your eyes move more smoothly across the words. You begin to recognize common patterns, and you do not need to stop at every word. You understand the general meaning, even when you do not know all the details. This is another gentle sign of progress. You may read short stories about daily life, about simple travels, about quiet feelings, and about small dreams. These stories reflect parts of your own life, and this connection makes reading more enjoyable. You may feel that English is not only a foreign language, but also a way to understand yourself in a new light. Writing may also become easier. You may still think before you write, but you feel less afraid. You trust your words more. You write short messages, small stories, and gentle thoughts. You write not to be perfect, but to express yourself. And this freedom makes writing feel lighter and kinder. You may look back at your old writing and notice mistakes, but you may also notice courage. You may see that you tried, and that trying is always valuable. Every old sentence is a step that helped you reach where you are now. Learning English also teaches you to listen to silence. Sometimes, you do not need to speak or read or write. Sometimes, you just sit quietly and let English stay in your mind like a soft echo. This quiet time is also part of learning, because your mind needs rest to grow. You may notice that English slowly changes the way you see the world. You may understand new ideas, new stories, and new perspectives. You may realize that people in different places share similar hopes, fears, and dreams. This understanding makes you feel more connected and more open. You may also notice that your patience becomes stronger. You do not get angry easily when you do not understand something. You simply accept it and move on. You trust that understanding will come later. This patience is a beautiful gift that learning English gives you. You may enjoy repeating simple phrases again and again, not because you are weak, but because repetition brings comfort. Phrases like "I am learning English," "I am doing my best," "I am improving every day," and "I am proud of myself" can become gentle messages that support you. These sentences are not only English practice, but also kind reminders to your heart. You may share your learning journey with others, or you may keep it private. Both ways are good. What matters is that you respect your own pace and your own style. You do not need to follow anyone else's path. Your path is already right because it is yours. You may sometimes feel that English is difficult, and sometimes you may feel that it is beautiful. Both feelings can live together. Difficulty does not mean failure, and beauty does not mean the end of learning. They are just different colors in the same journey. You may listen to English while walking in the street, while sitting in a bus, or while lying in bed. The sounds become part of your daily environment. You may not always focus fully, but even light listening helps your mind stay connected to the language. You may also enjoy noticing how English words connect to your own language. You may find similar meanings, similar sounds, or similar feelings. This connection helps you feel that languages are not separate worlds, but parts of one human story. You may sometimes translate in your mind, and sometimes you may not. Both are natural. Over time, translation becomes lighter, and direct understanding becomes stronger. This change happens quietly, without a clear moment, but one day you realize that it is already there. You may enjoy learning new words, but you may also enjoy using old words in new ways. You may use the same words to describe different moments, and you may feel how flexible and gentle language can be. Learning English also teaches you to listen to others with more care. Because you know how it feels to struggle with words, you become more patient when others speak slowly or make mistakes. You become kinder, and this kindness makes communication warmer. You may feel that English is slowly becoming a part of your identity, not as a replacement for who you are, but as a new layer. It adds new colors to your thoughts and new shapes to your dreams. You may think about how far you have come since the first day. You may not remember every detail, but you remember the feeling of beginning. And now, you feel the feeling of continuing. This feeling is calm, steady, and full of quiet strength. You may still have goals, like speaking more fluently, understanding more deeply, or writing more clearly. These goals are good, but they do not need to hurry you. They can simply guide you gently forward. You may continue to practice every day, or almost every day. And even when you miss a day, you do not give up. You just return, softly and kindly. This gentle return is more important than perfect discipline. You may notice that English helps you relax. Listening to calm English voices, reading soft stories, and repeating gentle sentences can make your mind peaceful. English becomes not only a tool, but also a comfort. You may also notice that your confidence grows in small ways. You are not afraid to try. You are not afraid to sound imperfect. You are not afraid to learn in public or in private. This confidence is quiet, but it is strong. You may find joy in understanding jokes, simple poems, or short conversations. These small joys show that English is becoming a living part of you. You may continue to walk on this path, not knowing exactly where it will lead, but trusting that it will bring good experiences. You may meet new people, read new stories, and discover new ideas through English. And as you keep walking, you keep learning, and as you keep learning, you keep growing. Not quickly, not loudly, but gently, softly, and steadily. English stays with you, like a calm friend who never pushes you, but always walks beside you, step by step, word by word, sound by sound, helping you feel more open, more patient, and more connected to the world, as you continue this peaceful and beautiful journey of learning English. And as this calm journey continues, you may begin to feel that English is no longer only something you study, but something you live with quietly, like a soft background song that follows you through your day. You wake up and a simple English sentence may appear in your mind, and you do not feel surprised by it anymore. You accept it gently, and you smile a little, because you know this sentence came naturally. This small moment is a sign of growth, and it does not need applause or celebration. It only needs your quiet awareness. You may walk outside and notice the sky, the trees, the people, and you may describe them in simple English in your mind. The sky is blue. The air is fresh. People are walking slowly. These sentences are easy, but they carry peace. They show that English is becoming part of your natural observation of the world. You are not forcing it. You are just letting it stay with you. You may also notice that your fear of English slowly becomes smaller. You are not afraid to listen, because you know you do not need to understand everything. You are not afraid to speak, because you know mistakes are normal. You are not afraid to read, because you know you can read slowly. You are not afraid to write, because you know you can try again. This gentle courage grows quietly inside you. You may remember times when English felt heavy and distant. Now it feels lighter and closer. You may still feel unsure sometimes, but you no longer feel lost. You know that even when you do not understand, you are still learning. Even when you forget, you are still growing. You may enjoy listening to simple English stories that talk about daily life, about small problems, about simple happiness, and about quiet hope. These stories do not rush. They move slowly, like a calm river. And you move with them, listening word by word, feeling sentence by sentence, staying present in the moment. You may notice that your breathing becomes calm when you listen. Your body relaxes, and your mind opens. English becomes a peaceful space, not a stressful task. This feeling is very important, because learning grows best in a calm heart. You may also repeat sentences softly, not to show anyone, but just for yourself. You repeat them to feel their sound, their rhythm, and their meaning. You may repeat a sentence many times, and each time it feels more comfortable. This repetition is not boring. It is gentle, like walking on the same peaceful road again and again. You may start to recognize common sentence shapes. You may notice how questions are formed, how answers are given, and how ideas are connected. You may not think about grammar rules, but you feel the patterns naturally. This feeling helps you speak and write with more ease. You may enjoy the simplicity of English at your level. You may realize that you do not need difficult words to express real thoughts. Simple words can carry deep meaning when they are used with care. Simple sentences can carry strong feelings when they are spoken with honesty. You may say things like I am learning. I am trying. I am moving forward. These sentences are short, but they are full of strength. They remind you that learning is happening, even when you cannot see it clearly. You may also enjoy teaching yourself small things, like one new word a day, or one new sentence a day. These small goals do not pressure you. They only invite you to stay connected to English in a gentle way. You may notice that your memory becomes kinder to English. Words stay longer. Sentences return more easily. Meanings become clearer. This does not happen in one day, but it happens slowly, quietly, and beautifully. You may listen to English in different voices, from different places. Some voices are soft, some are strong, some are fast, and some are slow. You learn to accept all of them. You understand that English has many faces, and all of them are real. You may feel happy when you understand a sentence without effort. You may feel peaceful when you understand the feeling of a story. You may feel proud when you can express yourself, even with simple words. These feelings are small, but they are precious. You may also learn to enjoy silence between words. You may notice pauses, breaths, and gentle spaces in speech. These spaces help you understand more deeply. They remind you that language is not only sound, but also calm. You may notice that you become more patient with yourself in other parts of life too. Learning English teaches you that growth takes time, and this lesson stays with you. You may feel less pressure to be perfect, and more freedom to be real. You may sometimes feel tired, and you may take a break. This break is not a failure. It is a part of the journey. When you return with fresh energy and gentle hope. You may also enjoy connecting English with your feelings. When you feel happy, you may say I feel good today. When you feel tired, you may say I need some rest. When you feel thankful, you may say I am grateful. These sentences help you express your inner world in a new and peaceful way. You may notice that English gives you new ways to think. You may describe the same situation differently, and this new view can help you understand yourself better. Language is not only about communication, but also about reflection. You may sometimes speak English with others, and you may notice that communication is possible even with simple words. You may not speak perfectly, but you are understood. And this understanding brings quiet joy. You may also listen more carefully to others, because you know how important clear and kind speech is. You become more gentle in conversations, and this gentleness makes connections stronger. You may continue to learn new words slowly, without pressure. You may choose words that are useful for your life. Words about food, time, work, rest, feelings, and dreams. These words become part of your daily thinking. You may feel that English is slowly building a small home inside your mind. This home is not finished, and it does not need to be. It only needs to be warm and open. You may walk inside this home with comfort. You may sit quietly with your thoughts in English. You may smile at your progress. You may accept your mistakes. You may enjoy your journey. And as you continue walking on this gentle path, you may realize that learning English is not something you do only for a result, but something you do for the experience itself. You learn to enjoy the process, the sound, the feeling, and the calm growth. You may continue listening, repeating, understanding, and expressing. You may continue falling and rising, forgetting and remembering. You may continue with patience, kindness, and quiet courage. English stays with you, not as a heavy task, but as a soft companion. It walks beside you when you are confident, and it waits for you when you are tired. It never leaves. It only grows with you. And you continue, slowly and gently, breathing with the words, feeling the sentences, trusting the journey, and allowing yourself to learn, to change, and to become more open with every small step, every soft sound, every simple word, and every calm moment that English brings into your life, as this peaceful journey continues without hurry, without pressure, and without an end. And as this gentle flow continues, you may begin to feel that English is not only something you understand, but something you trust. You trust that when you listen, your mind will catch what it needs. You trust that when you speak, your words will find a way. You trust that when you read, meaning will slowly open. You trust that when you write, your thoughts will take shape, even if they are simple. This trust is quiet, but it is strong, and it grows without noise. You may notice that your inner voice becomes kinder when you use English. You do not judge yourself so quickly. You do not rush yourself. You allow space for learning. You allow space for mistakes. You allow space for growth. This kindness makes learning feel safe, and safety makes learning deep. You may enjoy hearing familiar phrases again and again. You may hear "How are you?" "I am fine, thank you," and you may feel comfort instead of boredom. You may hear "What do you think?" "I think it is good," and you may feel calm instead of pressure. These phrases are like gentle waves. They come again and again, and each time they feel a little more natural. You may notice that your memory connects words with feelings. You remember a word because it made you smile. You remember a sentence because it helped you understand something. You remember a story because it touched your heart. These emotional connections make English stay longer in your mind. You may begin to feel that English is not only in your head, but also in your heart. You feel happy when you understand. You feel peaceful when you listen. You feel proud when you speak. You feel calm when you write. These feelings guide you gently forward. You may still meet difficult moments. You may hear a fast conversation and feel lost. You may read a long sentence and feel tired. You may try to speak and forget a word. But now, these moments do not stop you. They only slow you for a short time. And then you continue. You may tell yourself quietly, "It is okay, I am learning, I will understand later." These words are simple, but they are full of strength. They help you stay on the path without fear. You may notice that your listening becomes deeper. You do not only hear words, but you also hear intention. You feel when someone is kind, when someone is serious, when someone is playful. This deeper listening helps you connect more naturally with the language. You may also notice that your speaking becomes softer and clearer. You do not rush your words. You allow small pauses. You enjoy the sound of your own voice in English. You feel that it belongs to you now. You may enjoy reading slowly, without hurry. You may let your eyes rest on a sentence. You may let its meaning enter gently. You may feel no need to move fast. You understand that slow reading is strong reading. You may enjoy writing short lines that feel honest. You may write about the weather, about your mood, about your plans, about your dreams. You may write without fear, because you know that writing is not about perfection, but about expression. You may begin to feel that English helps you understand yourself in a new way. You describe your thoughts differently. You see your feelings from another angle. This new view is soft and interesting. You may also notice that your attention becomes calmer. You listen more carefully. You read more patiently. You speak more gently. You write more thoughtfully. Learning English quietly changes the way you move through moments. You may enjoy learning words that describe small things, like light, shadow, silence, smile, breath, step, and time. These words are simple, but they carry beauty. They help you see the world in a softer way. You may enjoy using English to describe simple scenes. The room is quiet. The window is open. The air is cool. The sky is clear. These sentences are easy, but they bring peace. You may begin to feel that English is a language of calm for you. Even when you are busy, English brings a soft pause. Even when you are tired, English brings a gentle rhythm. You may notice that you no longer feel pressure to reach a final level. You understand that learning has no true end. It only changes shape. This understanding makes you free. You may continue to practice without counting time or measuring results. You practice because you enjoy it. You practice because it feels good. You practice because it connects you with something gentle and meaningful. You may realize that English is teaching you how to stay with something for a long time without forcing it. This lesson is precious, and it stays with you in many parts of life. You may also enjoy helping others with English in small ways. You may explain a word. You may share a sentence. You may encourage someone who feels unsure. And in doing this, you feel your own understanding become stronger. You may notice that English is no longer only something you receive. It is also something you give. You give your voice, your thoughts, your feelings, and your presence to the language. This exchange makes the journey alive. You may continue to listen to slow and gentle English voices. You may follow their rhythm. You may breathe with their pauses. You may feel safe inside their sound. You may notice that your mind becomes more flexible. You accept different sentence shapes. You accept different accents. You accept different styles. This flexibility makes learning joyful. You may sometimes close your eyes and listen. You may let the words flow without effort. You may feel calm and steady. You may feel that English is not a mountain to climb, but a river to follow. You may continue to follow this river gently. Sometimes it moves fast, sometimes it moves slow. Sometimes it is clear, sometimes it is deep. But it always moves forward, and you move with it. You may trust this movement. You may trust yourself. You may trust the process. And as you continue, you may feel that learning English is not something outside of you anymore. It is something that lives with you. It grows with you. It changes with you. You may feel grateful for every word you understand, every sentence you speak, every story you follow, and every thought you express. You may feel grateful for every small step that brought you here. You may continue walking gently, without hurry, without fear, without pressure, carrying English with you like a soft light in your mind and a calm voice in your heart, allowing this peaceful journey to continue, moment by moment, word by word, breath by breath, as you stay open, stay kind, and stay quietly connected to the language that now feels like a gentle part of who you are, and as you keep moving forward with calm trust, soft hope, and steady peace. And as this long and gentle journey comes closer to a quiet resting place, you may notice that English now feels like a familiar space where you can breathe easily. You no longer see it as a wall in front of you, but as a path under your feet. You walk on it slowly, calmly, and with trust. You do not need to know where the path ends, because you are comfortable where you are. You may sit with English like you sit with a friend. You do not always talk. Sometimes you just stay together in silence. Sometimes you listen. Sometimes you smile. Sometimes you think. This quiet connection is simple, but it is deep. You may realize that learning English has changed you in soft ways. You are more patient. You are more open. You are more gentle with yourself. You understand that growth is not loud, and progress is not always visible. You understand that real learning happens inside, in small and silent movements. You may remember the first time you felt unsure, and you may compare it with how you feel now. You may not feel perfect, but you feel calm. You may not feel complete, but you feel comfortable. This feeling is a gift. You may notice that English no longer feels like a foreign guest. It feels like a quiet part of your daily life. It stays with you when you wake up. It stays with you when you walk. It stays with you when you rest. It does not ask for much. It only asks for your gentle attention. You may continue to listen to simple English voices, and you may continue to follow their rhythm. You may continue to repeat soft sentences, and you may continue to enjoy their sound. You may continue to read calm stories, and you may continue to write small thoughts. And all of this will continue to shape you in quiet ways. You may understand that you do not need to rush forward. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to reach a final point. You only need to stay present with the language, one moment at a time. You may feel peaceful knowing that English will always be there for you, waiting gently when you are busy, welcoming you softly when you return. You may feel thankful for this quiet companionship. You may close your eyes and listen to English like you listen to rain, or wind, or soft music. You may feel that it does not push you, and it does not pull you. It simply flows with you. You may carry English in your heart as a calm voice that reminds you to be patient, to be kind, and to keep going gently. You may carry it as a soft light that helps you see a little more clearly, feel a little more deeply, and understand a little more quietly. And as you continue your life, with all its changes, all its movements, and all its moments, English will continue to walk beside you, not as a heavy task, not as a difficult challenge, but as a gentle companion that grows with you, listens with you, and stays with you. You may one day realize that learning English was never only about the language. It was about learning to stay calm in effort, to stay kind in mistakes, and to stay open in growth. It was about learning to trust small steps, and to respect slow progress. And in this soft understanding, you may feel complete in a simple way. Not finished, not perfect, but peaceful. You may smile quietly, knowing that your journey is still alive, still moving, and still full of gentle possibility. You may take a slow breath. You may feel the calm inside you. You may let the last words of this moment rest softly in your mind. And you may continue forward, with English beside you, with patience in your heart, and with quiet confidence in your steps, allowing the journey to continue in your own life, in your own time, in your own gentle and beautiful way.